we're going to look at the Internet of Bio-Nanothings. And we are here with the Medical Design Brief Journal, and we're going to read Building the Internet of Bio-Nanothings. Biological computing machines, such as micro and nano implants that can collect important information inside the human body, are transforming medicine. Researchers have developed a protocol that enables a molecular network with multiple transmitters. The interface of computer science and biology, the Internet of Bio-Nanothings, promises to revolutionize medicine and healthcare. The Internet of Bio-Nanothings refers to biosensors that collect and process data. Nanoscale, labs on a chip that run medical tests inside the body. The use of bacteria to design biological nanomachines that can detect pathogens. And nanorobots that swim through the bloodstream to perform targeted drug delivery and treatment. Biomolecular communication is inspired by the body itself. In its simplest form, it encodes 1 and 0 bits by releasing or not releasing molecular particles into the bloodstream, similar to on-off keying in wireless networks. According to researchers, biomolecular communication has emerged as the most suitable paradigm for networking nanoimplants. It sends data by encoding it into molecules that then go through the bloodstream and are guided where to go and when to release their treatments, just like hormones. Now we're going to go to MIT Technology Review. The scientists who are creating a bio-internet of things. The Internet of Things connects devices across the globe. Now researchers are considering how bacteria can join the network. And this was released on November 1st, 2019, so 5 years ago. Imagine designing the perfect device for the Internet of Things. What functions must it have? For a start, it must be able to communicate both with other devices and with its human overlords. It must be able to store and process information, and it must monitor its environment with a range of sensors. Finally, it will need some kind of built-in monitor. There is no shortage of devices that have many of these features. Most are based on widely available, low-cost devices such as Raspberry Pi, Arduino boards, and the like. But another set of machines with similar functions is much more plentiful. Say, Raphael Kim and Stefan at Queen Mary University of London in the UK. They point out that bacteria communicate effectively and have built-in engines and sensors, as well as powerful information storage and processing architecture. And that raises an interesting possibility. They say, why not use bacteria to create a biological version of the Internet of Things? Today, in a call to action, they lay out some of the thinking and the technologies that could make this possible. The way bacteria store and process information is an emerging area of research. Much of it focused on the bacterial workhorse, Escherichia coli. These and other bacteria store information in ring-shaped DNA structures called plasmids, which they transmit from one organism to the next in a process called conjugation. Last year, Federico and colleagues built a circuit in which one strain of Immortal E. coli transmitted a simple "Hello World" message to a modal strain, which carried the information to another location. This kind of information transmission occurs all the time in the bacterial world, creating a fantastically complex network. But Tavella and Coe's proof of principle experiment shows how it can be exploited to create a kind of bio-internet, say Kim and Poslad. E. coli make a perfect medium for this network. They are modal, They have a built-in engine in the form of waving, thread-like appendages called flagella, which generate thrust. They have receptors in their cell walls that sense aspects of their environment, like temperature, light, chemicals, etc. They store information in DNA and process it using ribosomes. And they are tiny, allowing them to exist in environments that human-made technologies have trouble accessing. E. coli are relatively easy to manipulate and engineer as well. The grassroots movement of DIY biology is making biotechnology tools cheaper and easily available. The ImmunoLab, for example, is a genetic engineering kit for school children, allowing them to reprogram E. coli to glow in the dark, among other things. This kind of biohacking is becoming relatively common and shows the remarkable potential of a bio-Internet of Things. Kim and Posad talk about a wide range of possibilities. Bacteria could be programmed and deployed in different surroundings, such as the sea and smart cities, to sense for toxins and pollutants, gather data, and undertake bioremediation processes. They say bacteria could be reprogrammed to treat diseases, harboring DNA that encode useful hormones. For instance, the bacteria can swim to a chosen destination within the human body and produce and release the hormones when triggered by the microbe's internal sensor. They suggest. Of course, there are various downsides. While genetic engineering makes possible all kinds of amusing experiments, dark possibilities give biosecurity experts sleepless nights. It's not hard to imagine bacteria acting as vectors for various nasty diseases, for example. It's also easy to lose bacteria. One thing they do not have is the equivalent of GPS, so tracking them is hard. Indeed, it can be almost impossible to track the information they transmit once it is released into the wild. And therein lies one of the problems with a biological Internet of Things. The conventional Internet is a way of starting with the message at one point in space and recreating it at another point chosen by the sender. It allows humans, and increasingly devices, to communicate with each other across the planet. Kim and Posad's Bio-Internet, on the other hand, offers a way of creating and releasing a message, but little in the way of controlling where it ends up. The bio-network created by bacterial conjugation is so mind-boggling vast that information can spread, more or less, anywhere. Biologists have observed the process of conjugation transferring genetic material from bacteria to yeast, to plants, and even to mammalian cells. Evolution plays a role too. All living things are subject to its forces. No matter how benign a bacteria may seem, the process of evolution can wreak havoc via mutation and selection, with outcomes that are impossible to predict. Then there is the problem of bad actors influencing this network. The conventional Internet has attracted more than its fair share of individuals who release malware for nefarious purposes. The interest they may have in a biological Internet of Things is the stuff of nightmares. Kim and Posad acknowledge some of these issues, saying that creating a bacteria-based network presents fresh ethical issues. Such challenges offer a rich area for discussion on the wider implication of bacteria-driven Internet of Things systems. They conclude with some understatement. That's a discussion worth having sooner rather than later. Let's go to our next read. Graphene and related materials for the Internet of Bio-Nanothings. The Internet of Bio-Nanothings is a transformative communication framework categorized by heterogeneous networks comprising both biological entities and artificial micro nanoscale devices, So-called bio-nanothings interfaced with conventional communication networks for enabling innovative biomedical and environmental applications. Realizing the potential of Internet of Bio-Nanothings requires the development of new and unconventional communication technologies, such as molecular communications, as well as the corresponding transceivers, bio-cyber interfacing technologies connecting the biomedical domain of Internet of Bio-Nanothings to the electromagnetic domain of conventional networks, and miniaturized energy harvesting and storage components for the continuous power supply to bio-nanothings. Graphene and related materials exhibit exceptional electrical, optical, biochemical, and mechanical properties, rendering them ideal candidates for addressing the challenges posed by the Internet of Bio-Nanothings. This perspective article highlights recent advancements in graphene and related materials-based device technologies that are promising for implementing the core components of the Internet of Bio-Nanothings. By identifying the unique opportunities afforded by graphene and related materials and align them with the practical challenges associated with the Internet of Bio-Nanothings, particularly in the materials domain, our aim is to accelerate the transition of envisaged Internet of Bio-Nanothings applications from theoretical concepts to practical implementations, while also uncovering new application areas for graphene and related materials. I suggest everyone keeps reading this, especially if you've been graphinated. You might just want to know what's inside of you. But for now, we're going to go to the IEEE official website, and we're going to read Advancing Modern Healthcare with Nanotechnology, Nanobiosensors, and Internet of Nanothings, Taxonomies, Applications, Architecture, and Challenges. Healthcare sector is probably the most benefited from the applications of nanotechnology. The nanotechnology in the form of nanomedicine, nanoimplants, nanobiosensors, along with the Internet of Nanothings, has the potential to bring a revolutionizing advancement in the field of medicine and healthcare services. The primary aim of this paper is to explore the clinical and medical possibilities of these different implementations of nanotechnology. This paper provides a comprehensive overview of nanotechnology, biosensors, nanobiosensors, and Internet of Nanothings. Furthermore, multi-level taxonomies of nanotechnology, nanoparticles, biosensors, nanobiosensors, and nanozenes are presented. The potential medical and clinical applications of these technologies are discussed in details with several examples. This paper specifically focuses on Internet of Nanothings and its role in healthcare. In addition to describing a general architecture of Internet of Nanothings for healthcare, the communication architecture of the Internet of Nanothings is also explained. The challenges and the successful realization of Internet of Nanothings are also discussed critically, along with a special decision on Internet of Bio-Nanothings and its potential in making Internet of Nanothings more compatible to human body. And you can see the lovely image here that shows you the typical architecture and common components of the Internet of Nanothings. So as we just read, everything you need to know on nanotechnology, nanoparticles, biosensors, nanobiosensors, nanoimplants, nanomedicine, the Internet of Nanothings, and the Internet of Bio-Nanothings is all discussed here in this article. Everyone, and I mean absolutely everyone, should read this all the way to the end. But for now, we're going to look at another IEEE article. Bioblock, a blockchain analogous mechanism for integrity and Internet of Bio-Nanothings based drug delivery systems. The Internet of Bio-Nanothings based molecular communication system and nano networks is deemed critical for various applications in futuristic health technologies. In this work, we envisage a new research direction and coin the term Bioblock, a blockchain-inspired nano-networking security mechanism, since the existing macro-scale security solutions are not suitable for a nanoscale. Specifically, we propose a biological ledger-based relay model to secure targeted drug delivery without affecting surrounding healthy tissues. In Bioblock, each successful transaction generates a block with genetic signatures on the bionodes in the nano network, which eventually gets validated by neighboring bionodes. We show the effectiveness of our model regarding energy utilization and information delivery while highlighting the average delay introduced in the network with an increasing level of security. We observe that the information delivery factor in the case of the naive approach is 90.59%, while in the case of a six-fold secure approach, it is 89.77%. Eventually, we observe that the targeted drug delivery is not affected by the introduction of multifold security. Now we're going to look at another paper, and this is still on the IEEE official website. Intrabody molecular communication via blood-tissue barrier for Internet of Bio-Nanothings. Molecular communication is an emerging communication paradigm that allows bio-nano machines to communicate using biochemical molecules as information carriers. It can be used in many promising biomedical applications, such as Internet of Bio-Nanothings for targeted drug delivery and healthcare applications. In particular, the blood-tissue barrier inside the body forms the main communication pathway for molecular information exchange between the bio-nano machines as well as between the intrabody nano network and the bio-cyber interface in the Internet of Bio-Nanothings network. However, overcoming this barrier by the molecules is one of the main challenges for molecular communication in the body. Therefore, spatial temporal modeling of molecular communication across the blood-tissue barrier is of particular interest. In this article, we develop a mathematical model and a stochastic particle-based simulator for molecular communication over high spatial temporal resolution between mobile nanomachines in the blood capillary and the surrounding tissues. The transmitting bio-nano machines is modeled as a moving sphere with a continuous emission pattern over a specific duration. In this work, the blood capillary characteristics, including the blood-tissue barrier and blood flow, are modeled and their effect is examined on the molecular received signal. In addition, we examine the impact of the emission duration, the elimination rate, and the separation distance on the molecular received signal. The numerical results are verified using the developed particle-based simulator. This work can help in the optimum design and development of the Internet of Bio-Nanothings systems based on molecular communication for biomedical applications, such as smart drug delivery and health monitoring systems. The 5G is a part of this Internet of Bio-Nanothings, which controls even your genetics. It's in your cells. Now we're going to go over here to ResearchGate, and this was published in September 2015, so literally 9 years ago. A review on Internet of Things, Internet of Everything, and Internet of Nanothings. We're going to look at the images. Here you have your P2P, people to people. And this is in 2015 because you are connected to everything.